Hello friends, you're with the Lonesome Gamer and I'm playing Seven Ages. And well, during the last video lots of empires disappeared. The Huns ended up with tons of disorder markers. There was this uprising in their country, so I guess they will be discarded during this this turn, and we're gonna see the start of many new empires. So let's start with the start empire phase. The red player starts right away and he will start an empire. And well, first he actually thought about starting the Arabs. They are really an interesting empire. A lot of options to gain points, but if you take a closer look here, they gain a victory point for having the most artifacts. So there they would have to compete against the Romans, which are also controlled by the red player, and that is nearly impossible. Then they gain lots and lots of victory points for being Islamic, but the problem is Islam is not yet established as a religion on the board. So he has to draw that card, that Islam card, to really generate a lot of points with these guys. Otherwise it's pretty hard. You got to be second biggest in the world to really generate points. So I think overall, if they are not Islamic, they are definitely not very good. And if they get started right now, probably people will not play the Islam card simply to prevent them from generating lots and lots of points. So they won't play them. He can still do a trade with these guys, but he will not play them. Instead, he's going to play the Poles. They are also pretty good, actually. They want to be big in Europe, which is possible. They can be second biggest in Europe. They don't have to do a conflict with the Romans. I mean, they play together. They might help each other. So, and if they are just second biggest, it's fine. If they convert to Christianity, or if they adopt Christianity, which is possible because the Romans are Christian, they would be actually it should be possible for them to become the second biggest Christian empire. So that would give them then 3 points, and then they want lots of cavalry. I think it is possible to make some points with these guys. So they start at -2, which would be right there. And they start with either Casimir or Copernicus. So there we have to check. And cavalry costs 3, +1 to knight's frontline value. Money 15. This is not so great, but still, the cavalry is cheap, so I guess that will be fine. Okay, so now they took the black countermix, and because they gain points for having the biggest cavalry, they only invested in cavalry units. Okay. There we go. And then, I forgot, they can choose a leader. Let's see who that will be. Okay, I guess I'm going to start with Casimir. He's an administrator and a tactician. And that is actually interesting. I forgot that, because we can promote a named leader. So I wonder if that leader, this administration value is already, this administration advantage is already part in this building process. I mean, it's written before, it's step C, and then step D is actually build and set up units. So I assume that these units are all -1 bucks, because on the other hand, that's an interesting question. I think so. But on the other hand, he's not really on the map and all that. I mean, damn, I don't know. This is really hard to say. I wonder what you think. They could afford easily another unit. I think I will give them this advantage. Okay, so with the special ability of Casimir, these cost only 2. So that's 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, that would mean he could actually afford another cavalry unit. That's pretty amazing. Okay, yeah, fine then. Yeah, it's a little... I'm not sure about that. I mean, on the other hand, the card says cavalry cost 3. But obviously it's possible to modify that. It doesn't even say initial cavalry cost 3. It simply says cavalry cost 3. And obviously the administration advantage reduces the cavalry price, and because it says here promote named leader, it says that before build and set up units. Maybe we can actually do that. Whatever, I will. Sometimes you have to simply have to decide things on your own. Okay. And this is then the start of the polls. Now we start with the green player also starts an empire, and well, basically he thought about starting the Habsburgs. They would start in Austria, which is a problem actually. They want to be big in Europe. I think it's not a great idea if we do that, because, you know, the Romans and the Poles are controlled now by the same player. So I think that would probably end up in disaster if we are right between these two. And we're also competing with them for being the biggest Christian nation and the biggest in Europe. So I guess that doesn't make much sense. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start Benin with 15 bucks minus 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they would start here. 1 per progress gained during trade. That's not so bad. And they want to be big in Africa, the world, well, and obviously good in trading, which is maybe not that simple, because they might have to trade with the Romans or the Zimbabweans. Well, they could trade with the Zimbabweans. They both have a -1 modifier, so that might be interesting. Okay, these are the starting forces of Benin, and they are definitely technological advanced to the starting forces of the Zimbabweans, or to the forces of the Zimbabweans, although the Zimbabweans also could produce swordsmen and catapults. Still, Benin is far ahead. Here is Benin, there are the Zimbabweans. So maybe on a long term there could be really a big technological advantage between these two. Maybe even now, but I'm not sure yet if I really gonna want to go for a conflict right away with these guys. On the other hand, I could imagine that, for example, the Romans would help them out if it comes here to the Senegal or something like that. We will see about these kind of things. Okay, we'll see another empire starting here. The gray player, he's gonna start the Dutch in the Low Countries, so there will be a conflict here with this guy, with this swordsman. They have also 15 bucks. They have a setup of 4, so they start right where these guys start. They can build cannons already. They have a leader, Rembrandt. They can promote him. Probably an artist, I guess. Not a famous tactician. Ships cost 3, +1 to frontline value of ships in ages 4 and 5. Well, they can gain points for artifacts. And this is actually interesting, because their points are doubled if they have Rembrandt, I guess. I mean, I gotta check that, but I'm pretty sure he is an artist. They go for non-European countries because they want to colonize the world and they want to be rich. Well, this could be interesting. There is sadly a competition with the Vietnamese, which also want to be rich. So that is a little bit of a problem, but okay. Okay, so here we are. The ships cost also only 3. So my idea is now, I'm going to take these 2 units to protect my home area. A powerful cannon and a swordsman. And I'm only going to buy these units here because my idea is to transport these units with these 2 ships to the North American coast. Labrador, Newfoundland. And then, in actually 3 turns, I would reach the musket, and then I can do a modernize action, and I can simply flip them. So maybe that could be a good idea. On the other hand, well, for now it doesn't seem like there is a lot of competition there. So I think I might I won't want to try it that way. Okay. Oh, and we have to fight this guy, of course, that Roman soldier here. He gets a bonus. Roman swordsman gets a bonus in the front line, so he has a fighting value of 5. My ships also get a bonus, so they have a 12. Yeah, let's do it this way. 12, that's a 16, and that's a 22, and that's a 26, plus 4, so that would be 30, against a 5, plus a defense modifier for the woods of +1. So that's a 6. Okay, that's no big deal. 11. So there is a difference about 29, and we can about 19, and we can of course keep all our units here. And of course, I'm gonna promote Rembrandt. I forgot about that. Okay, here we are. Yeah, there he is, an artist as expected. So if we managed to get a few artifacts, it would be pretty cool, because these artifacts would be doubled then. And we can also add one here to this artifact marker, so it would be 3 instead of a 2. So we can make a lot of points that way. And we're gonna see even more empires starting. It's now the Vikings. There is actually no other option. They have to do that. They have to start them, but they don't exactly compete with any of these guys. So a coexistence should be possible here. The Vikings want to be big in Britain. They want to be a big seafaring nation, but they also want to be the biggest one not in Europe. But okay, I mean, we will see about that. They start in Denmark. And I think, yeah, they cannot even build cities for now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they start somewhere here in the Dark Ages. That sucks. They have to do a trade first. Initial ships cost 3. Galleys may enter oceans, count tundra and harvest glory. In ages 2 and 3, each land liberated from a more advanced empire lowers its progress by 1. Well, that is kind of tempting, but I'm not sure if we want to do any... if we want to have a real war here going on. So the Vikings or Danes, probably during the Renaissance or in the late Middle Ages, it might be already the Danes, I'm not sure about that. Okay, so this is the starting... these are the starting units of the Vikings or Danes, and they don't have the ships of the line, so they can only build galleys, which is not that great, but okay. And they start in Denmark. Okay. Yep. Fine. Okay, and another empire will start, and that's another European empire, the Spanish. And And this is also going to be interesting because yeah, they also want to be big in outer Europe. They want to be Christian, big. They want to be rich, and they want to control the home area. So there is some conflict here with the Dutch for money, for out of Europe. And, well, let's see. They start with 20 bucks. It's hard to see here. And they can actually start with either Columbus or Magellan. So let's see. Okay, well, honestly, now that I take a closer look, I think I will not start these guys right now. I want to wait one more turn, because if I got a -4 setup, I will end up right there. And I could also not promote one of these cool leaders. But if I wait another turn, I would start here, which would be, I guess, an advantage. So I think I will not play this Start Empire card. Maybe I should allow them instead doing a Destiny action. Why not? I think that's... let's do them a favor here. I think that's just fair. Okay. So, that was then the end of the Start Empire phase, and then we're going to see a we're going to see production actions. Let's see who's going to do that. Is there any production going on? It doesn't seem so, actually. Nope, nobody wants to produce. What about trade and progress? Yep, the Zimbabweans, they want to do a trade and progress action. So now they have to trade with Benin. They are both at -1. So, well, it's the question now. They can't play this one here. The Arabs. That's a pretty good chance there. I think they're going to play that card. The Arabs. Obviously, we will see. I mean, this is a card that will go probably forth and back a few times now. Everybody wants to take that to deal, I guess, or to trade. And the Benin also wants to win a trade, because that would give them victory points. The problem is they don't really have good cards. I think what they are going to do is they're going to throw in that 4 card. That's the best they have. But of course it's really unlikely that they win this trade. So then we draw a few other cards. First for the Zimbabweans. That's not so great, actually. This is just a 2, so that would be a 9. -1 is an 8. And now for Benin. Oh, that's not bad. That's a 5. +4, that's also a 9. -1 is an 8. Oh boy, now I gotta see what happens if there is a tie. Okay, so what happens is the empire that initiated the trade may move on the progress marker 1 step. So that goes here now. But it wasn't a trade 1. So that means the Zimbabweans won't get any points for this. but at least the marker moves on, and that will give them a little more glory points at the end of the turn. So, do we see more trade? Well, actually not. So now we come to the maneuver actions. And there we are, the Satavahana will do a maneuver action, because they definitely want to be biggest in the world, and right now they're equal with the Romans. So they want to expand a little bit, means they move here to Oxania and here to Tibet, I guess, and here. Well, I think they moved to Yunnan here. Okay. I think what I want to do is I want to move with these guys also here, just to have a little defense against the Vietnamese in case they get some weird ideas here. Okay, and now we're definitely the biggest empire in the world. There is no doubt now. Okay, so that was their maneuver action. Then we see another maneuver action by the Vietnamese over here. And they just want to spread out a little bit in Southeast Asia. Yeah, just one guy here, I guess. With one guy here, that gives them the elephant. And I think that's fine then. Another maneuver action by the Armenians. Remember, they want to be big in Asia. Basically, they want to be at least second biggest. Probably they want to be big. They don't. They probably will be biggest. Simply because the Indians there, the Satavahana, are that big. But there is a good chance for them to, well, expand quite a bit if they control here the Near East. So, and they want to be Christians. So that means they want to get close to the Romans, because then they could adapt Christianity. So they can take that knight and move here, and they can take the other knight, move here. This guy they can move here. Okay. So that's a start for now. Well, I wonder if I want to do it that way. I can also move actually here and then go to Mesopotamia. That's better. Gives me more income. Yep. Okay. And the Polynesians, they will simply also do a maneuver action. They're still in the game. Many changes happened, but they are still there. And, well, they simply will move their boat. And they're going to move it, well, I'm not sure where actually they want to go. Well, they can simply move here to the East China Sea. Why not? There is no reason not to do that. Yeah, so they control now 4 areas. That makes them definitely the biggest seafaring nation in the world. but now they probably come to an end. I'm not sure if they have another galley, and there are no other ships they can build. So they will not grow any further, at least not on sea spaces. I think that's for sure. Anybody else doing a maneuver action? I don't think so. Nope. Destiny. Well, let's see. We have a Destiny action here by the Plains Americans. They are actually thinking about, well, or the Grey player is thinking about to discard these guys. There is no real hope. They could fight the Aztecs for a while, but in the end that doesn't give him that much points. Even if they manage to destroy the Aztecs, they can only generate 3 points. That's basically the best they can do. And that means that because they are still in a dark age, it doesn't make too much sense for them to stay in the game. But I don't have a lot of alternatives right now, so I want to do a I want to try to do some Destiny action here and get a few better cards. Let me see. I want to keep these. Well, actually, I don't think so. I think I'm going to throw away everything and draw 6 new cards. Maybe we find something good we can start. Well, these suckers definitely not. The Chavin, Mochika. The Persians. Well, they could be interesting. They are definitely an option. Let's think about that. Third card, Assyrians not. A pirate state. Well, this guy is at least fun, and we'll see some. There are some coastal areas here. So we some ships out there here in these coastal areas. So we might actually considering starting a pirate state and doing some fights here or something. This could be fun, but they're not exactly great. 4, 5, the Inuits. Well, they could be started, but yeah, I think they're not that great. And then last card, the United States. Well, I'm afraid that's not possible. They're too early. We would need a time ripple or something to play them, but we don't have that, I guess. No. Yeah, so maybe the Persians or the pirate state. Not perfect. The Persians could be good. Okay, now we see another Destiny action here by the yellow player. And well, I think I want to throw away I wonder if I should throw away that one. That's a pretty good card if it comes to a conflict. But I'm not sure actually. I guess I want to keep that card. Yeah, let's throw away these cards here and let's draw 4 new ones. Hittites. So they also might want to start a good empire, but they have the Spanish already. So it's not exactly that important that they draw a good card. Well, the French, of course, is also an option. They start with a lot of money, with one free maneuver action after setup. Whew. That is definitely an option. We might think about that. They are interesting, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet. The Spanish, they gain points for being a big Christian empire. That is definitely possible. Well, I don't know yet. We'll see about that. And 2 more cards. The Assassins. They can't be played anymore. The English. Well, that is also a great card. Holy moly. Okay, we have definitely interesting options. Definitely some interesting options here. The Spanish, the French, the English. This is just amazing. I'm pretty sure that means the end of the Polynesians. I'm pretty sure we're going to throw the Polynesians away now in the next turn. We might start 2 of these. This is just amazing, actually. Okay. But it's, yeah, I think I will, actually. It's just... the English and the Spanish, that's definitely an interesting option. Okay, well, we'll see about that. Okay, so that's the end of the Destiny action, and then we're going to see some Civilize actions, and the Romans, they start with their Civilize action. So first they could play artifact or event cards. Wow. Well, that's a pretty cool card. If target empire is allowed to promote a leader, select any unnamed leader from the pool. That is something they definitely could do. Question is, who do they want? Well, they could either select an administrator, which is definitely a good alternative, but they could also select an artist, and that is probably even better, because they gain points for having artifacts. So do the Dutch, and the Dutch also have an artist. So it might be a better idea to find an artist here. But maybe we find both. We simply take that artist, I guess. And we're going to place him right there. Okay, that was definitely a good card. Actually, I wonder if someone had a card. No. To cancel that or somehow, but that's not the case. Okay, you cannot remove another, promote another leader in a turn. I'm pretty sure about that. We can also not adopt a religion or government. We have both already. Let's see if we can modernize. I don't think so. Well, actually, I think we can. We can modernize these guys here. They become now knights, and that's for free. We simply can flip these counters, and this is it then. Okay. I'm pretty sure, yeah, that's basically it. There is only one of that kind. Okay. Okay, and then we can urbanize. That's also pretty cool. Rome will grow a little bit. That's about time, actually. They are in age 4, and they still don't have a city which is better than level 1. So that kind of sucks. Okay. So there we are. And now we could remove disorder, but I'm afraid we don't have any money to do that. Okay. So, that's then the end of the Roman civilization action. Then we see another civilized action of the Aztecs. Okay, first let's see if they can play any cards. Well, I don't see that happening. They could promote a leader, but they don't want to do that. The tactician there is fine, basically. They can urbanize, and that's basically why they play that card. So this is now flipped into a 3 city, into a 3-level city, and yeah, that's it then. That's all that happens now. Okay, so that was their action, and finally we see a civilized action of the Japanese. So no cards are played here. We can promote a leader. Is there any leader we can actually... Yeah, Tokugawa. Let's see what type of leader he is. So he is definitely a great leader. He's an administrator and a tactician. So for now, I think I'm going to place him here. That will make ships cheaper. Definitely a good one. And then we can urbanize and... Well, let's see. We might flip this to a level 5 city, and then we construct another level 1 city somewhere. There we are. Okay, so there we go, and that city shows up here in Shikoku, I guess. Oh, let's place it here. So that's basically it for the Japanese. And now we come to the discard empire phase. And the Huns, well, they get discarded. I'm afraid it doesn't make any sense to hold on to them here. There was this uprising, so the whole empire is in disorder, and it's going to be very, very hard to be among the 3 biggest empires in the world, and that would have been necessary for them to generate any points at all. So there they go. Cities stay there as neutral cities for now. And that's the end of the Huns. Okay, and this is it. No other empire is discarded. What about the Plains Americans? Did they do anything? Yeah, they did this destiny action, exactly. Because I hadn't an empire I could play instead of them. So for now they will stay there, I guess. Okay, so that's then the end of the turn. And we do this progress action here. There we are. We go. Some of them move again into a dark age. So only half the points for them. The paved roads should stay there. Okay, fine. So let's see. The Harvest Glory. Well, again, the Romans are probably the most glorious in the world. Okay, because they have an artist, that means instead of a 2, a 3 appears here. So they gain 3 points for having the most artifacts, 3 points for being number 1 in Europe, and a point for controlling their home area. So that means they gain 7 points. This is the record in this game. There is no doubt about that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that will possibly make the red now the new leading player. But we will see about that. The Zimbabweans, they control their home area and they are biggest in Africa. Because they are not in a dark age right away, they gain 3 points for that too. The Poles, they control their home area. And right now, it counts as they are second biggest in Europe. Because, well, there's a tie with the Danes and the Dutch, but because they are first in turn order, that makes them second biggest. So that would be 2 points for them. And now we got to ask ourselves, what about the cavalry points? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, that's no cavalry unit, nor is that. Okay, so it seems like the Romans control 4 cavalry units. They control more. They control actually 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 6. Oops, my goodness, this is so fiddly. Okay, so 6 cavalry units for Poland. The Romans control 4. Who else do we have? 1, 2. Well, I should have moved with this guy somewhere else, actually. Yeah, I simply missed that sucker. Whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's it. So the Satavahana also only control 4 cavalry. And that's it then, I guess. I'm pretty sure this is it. Yeah, these guys go for ships. And that's interesting. So that means that the Poles, the Poles, well, they control actually the biggest cavalry. So that gives them even another point. So right at their start, they generate 3 points for the red player, which is amazing. So the red player makes a big leap ahead, a really big leap ahead. He generated 13 points in that single turn. Very, very impressive here. Okay, now it's the green player. Benin. Well, it's basically just a home area, 1 space. The Satavahana, okay, they are in a dark age. They gain 4 points, so at least that gives them 2 points. Not that great, but at least something. Well, actually pretty bad. The Plains Americans, yeah, they suck. They still don't control their home area. That means they lose a point. They are number 1 in America. So that means they gain only 1 point. They are in a dark age, but that doesn't matter. So it's 1 point for the Plains Americans. The Dutch. Yeah, okay, the Dutch. Let's see. Not too much for them, I guess. Their home area, and that's it. So another point for the Dutch. The Vietnamese. Okay, that's 1 point for them for their homeland. 1 point for Southeast Asia. They might be 3rd in Asia. Let's see now. This is interesting. They control 6 areas. No, 5 actually. 5 areas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So do the Armenians. But the Armenians are behind the Vietnamese. Yeah, okay. So yeah, fine. That means, what about these guys? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the Japanese. So there is a tie, but the Japanese, no, they are also behind. That's interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so the Japanese are also behind. What about the Polynesians? They control these 2 areas that count towards Asia. So does that. So that's a 3. That does count to Asia. 4. So does that. So 5. I have no idea what that is for. Well, that's only a desert, so it doesn't count at all. So the Polynesians also control 5. But they are also behind. So that's really fun, because there is a tie with the Japanese, the Polynesians, the Vietnamese, and the Armenians. But because they are first in turn order with all of them, I find that hard to believe, actually. But yeah, that's a fact. Yep, that's a fact. That means they are 2nd biggest in Asia. So that gives them then 2 more points, because they gain 3 points if they would be biggest. So hey, that's 4 points for them. This is not so bad. 4. There they are. Okay, the Armenians. Well, okay, they are, well, only 1 for their homeland. This is now the pink player. Here we go. The Aztecs. 1 for their homeland. Now what about the cities? They have now 2 cities with a value of 3. So they have a 6 city value of 6. What about the Romans? That's a 4. And the capital, so that's a 7. Here it's also a 6 with the Satavahana, and they are ahead in the turn order. So that means the Aztecs are not among the 2 biggest empires if it comes to the cities. So that simply means they gain only 1 point, which is pretty bad. The Vikings, well, let's see. Not too bad, not too well. Only 1 point for their homeland, and this is it. So that was a horrible turn for the pink player. But of course, I mean, that could be expected. He had to start 2 new empires, the Armenians, the Vikings. They're all new. The Aztecs are not doing well over here. So, yeah, we'll see about all that. Overall, I think it was a really cool turn. I'm really curious what happens here in Europe now. Finally, there is a little more going on in Europe. That makes historical much more sense to me. I didn't enjoy it that much if the Romans were just here and nothing happened here in the Middle East. It was all going on here in the Far East. That was kind of weird. But now, I think it's going to be more interesting. Still, the red player is doing great in Europe with the Poles and the Romans. That's definitely an advantage to control 2 civilizations there. But okay. So, yeah, and of course we have a new leader, which is great. Basically, the whole game, Gray was in the lead. And now it's actually red. And it's interesting how yellow fall back. They were doing quite well for a while, but now there is absolutely nothing going on with them. The Japanese don't really get started. The Polynesians, well, okay, they're fine with their 3 points, but they definitely need something better. There might be a good chance for them, at least on the long term. They might start the English or the French or the Spanish, so they definitely have some options. This is not over yet for them too. Okay, hope to see you in the next video or on lonesomegamer.com. Until then, bye.